Welcome everyone to the channel. Happy grand full moon in Cancer. Welcome everyone. Thank you to the new subscribers and thank you to the returning subscribers. It's great to have you all here. This will be a collective reading message. However it is that you view these lives and what it brings to you, with the intent that it brings you clarity. Here we are. So let's get into our messages. Welcome, my love. And cream, welcome, my love. Let's go ahead and open up so that we can get these messages, and let's open up the energy. I connect my heart and soul to the heart and soul of the 7 universes, the 144 sectors of each universe, the 144,000 galaxies in each sector, the 144 million constellations of each galaxy, the 12 solar systems of each constellation, and the 12 planets of each solar system. Source, I connect my heart and soul to the heart and soul of this wonderful full moon in Cancer. Allow me to relay the messages for the highest purpose of those that are watching this message, their intentions, and the energy surrounding them, protecting us all from any entity that wants to block us from rising to this higher consciousness of all. Ashe. We're going to start with the Divine Feminine deck. That's what we're going to start with. And I'm just going to allow the cards to relay their messages to you, as mentioned in the opening, through me to you. 2, 3, 4 on the timer. So let's go ahead and see which Divine Feminine is here to assist us with these messages. What is this wanting to pop through? Welcome, y'all. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. And I just said that like that because my left ear. All right. Okay. Magi Ladrón, the diamond-hearted Dakini. I see the light in my own darkness. I face my ego's beliefs to feel free. I face my ego beliefs to feel free. Along with, oh wow, the joy permeated mother, Anan Damayima. I am my own guru. I know the self that never changes. I know the self that never changes, and that is knowing that you are your own guru by first and foremost connecting to the highest consciousness, to source. Like I said, I'm going to let these cards speak. But let me see what messages are here now for the collective. Divine Feminine. Divine Feminine for the collective. Divine Feminine for the collective. 414. Let's see what we got going on, y'all. Saraswati is at the bottom of the deck, the goddess of self-knowledge. Her message is, the essence of who I am flows effortlessly into everything I create. Ashe. 440 on the timer. What is the message here for the collective, source? Zhou Zhuangjing, the mystic of peace. I am peace. When my mind is clear, the way is clear. So this is already showing me the Ace of Swords for all of you, where you're connecting to your strength in spite of adversity. This is also connected to the dates that flow through Venus and Cancer. And Venus has a lot to do with your social urges and values, your core values, the nurturing of mother love. And in the sign of Cancer, which is ruled by the moon and our glorious full moon today, it's all about the domestic life, the feelings of belonging, okay, being nurtured and nurturing to others. At the bottom of the deck, we have our beloved Sekhmet, the Red Lady. I am pure strength. I honor my anger by giving voice to it. So, with these two messages, the mystic of peace and Sekhmet's energy, combining the two, this would give you Hathor's energy, which has a lot to do with the birth of creation or birth as a portal. Birth as a portal in the sense of being reborn, coming through the womb, coming through the vaginal canal. And in that is the process or the next phase of life. So a lot of you have been going through this process of nurturing the seed within and now prepared to give birth to it, to give it life. And life comes with the breath. Life comes through the heart because it is the heart that is letting us know as it continues to work through its beats that we are still alive, that we are living, that we are in this physical body, thriving through this physical world. But thriving through this physical world as gods and goddesses, having a human experience, an experience that is the physical. With Sekhmet's energy here, I am pure strength. You're connected so deeply to your solar plexus and your throat chakra, and the chakra in between those two is the heart. Because you're able to now hear and listen, or will be, as a result of this message or any other message that you may hear that gives you the clarity, that gives you the strength, that gives you the courage to want to move forward because you're still living. You're still nurturing self. You're still nurturing the fact that you are God and God is having a human experience. Giving voice to that. Throat chakra is all about that intuition. You're giving light or shedding light on what it is that you trust when it comes to the unknown, bringing that subconscious to light. Let's see what else we got going on. Sarah Lakali, Queen of the Outsiders. And this card here, the Warrior Saint. Okay. So, Sarah Lakali's message, I have arrived. I am where I will always be in love. The Warrior Saint, I am a warrior of love. My devotion attracts resonance, well, resources. The fact that I said resonance, this is the way that you will be attracting your resources is by what it is that you resonate with and what you consider to be support. And this is also being influenced by Venus retrograde, where it's showing you those spaces throughout your journey where your ambition and devotion may have been to situations that were not of full support. But this too also showed you where support actually was. The polarity of life in this realm, in this on this planet is where you're able to have this soul evolution, to go through the processes of a death and rebirth, to break through those psychological blocks. Anything that tells you or makes you feel that you are something less other than what you actually are. When you are connected, as you already are coming into this realm, connected to the infinite source, connected to the infinite creator, you're here to thrive. But there may be a process where requires you to first connect to your survival methods so you can know what it looks like to thrive. Basically, the center of it would be surviving, just seeing things for what it is, but from a higher frequency that's looking at the heart that's beating. It's making these, it's a simple mechanism that's happening within the heart in terms of the beating that's giving you life. And even in saying it like that, too, the beating that's giving you life. You may have encountered things that you felt like this was the end of it all. But it was that moment that you were able to turn the page. When I mean turn the page, I mean turn the page in the sense that you were able to dig up whatever was under the rug that wasn't allowing you to fully turn the page or create a new story. Let's get one more divine feminine message. We have the red goddess again at the bottom of the deck, which is connecting a lot to the root chakra. And that's one of those things here when it comes to this full moon in Cancer, is really making you see the roots of these soul ties. Because it is through these soul ties that your soul either grows or stagnant. Greetings, goddess. It's through these soul ties that you're able to see where your soul will grow or not. So at some point in your life, that warrior spirit is going to come through. And that is something that we don't want to resist. We want to fully embody what that is, because that is where you'll be able to go from survival to thriving, because you'll be able to see the power that's actually within you. That's what Sekhmet's energy is all about, giving voice to the anger. Because if you don't give voice to that anger, that energy remains inside of you. And if it remains inside of you, which is what has happened to most, especially through the age of Pisces, where so much had to be hidden. And it's had to be hidden because fear ruled this universe that we currently dwell in, that we are currently stripping ourselves from. Let's see what other divine feminine wants to pull through. Something told me she was coming. Something told me she was coming. Isis. Sexual energy is sacred. My pleasure is a prayer that brings me back to life. Your pleasure is a prayer. This is why it's important to really disconnect from soul ties that do not allow your soul to thrive. And to disconnect from these soul ties, it is through prayer. It is through prayer is basically communication between you and the Most High. And not being afraid to have that moment And fear can happen in so many different ways when it comes to that prayer or communication with the Most High. And possibly having to do with belief systems. There goes that age of Pisces energy. Because there were so many hidden agendas to manipulate the consciousness of the gods and goddesses that were thriving or surviving on this planet, having a human experience. But this is why you're here now. Because so many of you embody the power to resurrect. To embody the power to resurrect means that you will go through or undergo a great deal of tests, a great deal of trials and tribulations. But at the same moment, you're realizing your power, becoming the warrior saint, the warrior of love, devoted to the attraction of resources and support, actual support that allows you to connect to all that is, and that is love. That is one thing about the mother's nature. Even if in that moment unable to nurture you, it is because you are here to nurture her. But in the same token, not to lose yourself. And the way to not lose yourself is to see beyond the current situation, to grow and become wise. And that wisdom is going to come through obstacles and challenges, because you're going to have to figure out a strategy that is balanced between both the logic and the spiritual. Because throughout that process, you may operate from a spiritual sense more than a logical, and vice versa. But the moment you balance the two, here's where you'll start to see results. Here's where you'll start to be able to express gratitude. And as you're able to do that, the wound from the womb that you come from begins to heal with you. That healing process is not going to look the same, however, but that does not mean it's not happening. Similar to situations that you want to happen, but things are being delayed, it's for a reason. It's for you to wake up. Because the one thing when you're stepping away from that aspect of hope, this is when the soul becomes bruised. If the soul is bruised, this would not allow you to see the soul tie that you may have when it comes to certain aspects in relationships. It is until you fully connect to that soul, because that is the way you'll be able to rejuvenate it. Because when that soul is wounded, it's because it's lacking connection to your mind, body, and spirit. And so much of the maternal energy has lacked so much love because of another maternal's energy, son not being able to heal his maternal wounds, or however that may play out. Welcome, everyone. So let's go ahead and move into an Isis message, shall we? And see what her message is from the Isis Oracle. These are very strong feminine energies we have here. We have the goddess of magic, the warrior saint, the mystic of peace, and queen of the outsiders. Now, this queen of the outsiders, until you embrace the fact that you may be an outsider, you'll be sitting in this energy until you fully embody it before stepping into the goddess of who you are. Because Magi has a lot to do with the I am that I am, your identity as a god or a goddess having a human experience. Let's get this message in, y'all. Here we go. Isis, what is the message here for the collective on this full moon? Wow. Mm. You look at that. What do you know? And those of you that were in Sanchi, did that. It says, enter the chamber of healing. Healing in the divine chamber of the Lady Isis. This is a lot of energy that's being healed and cleared out when it comes to one's sexuality and sensuality, to be able to nurture, to even step into that phase fully. You felt it, huh? Ashe. At the bottom of the deck, we have the portal of light. So you go from, you have the dark and light here. 2220 on the timer. That is the bigger picture, the yin and the yang. The one thing about the feminine power, it is this entire universe. And the masculine energy is the body of that feminine power, or the action of that feminine power. So the masculine is still feminine at the end of each spiral, each life cycle. The portal of light, she glides on wings through time and space. Let's go ahead and read this message here. Enter the chamber of healing. You're more than welcome to rise as I read this message, because I truly feel it will help in terms of the healing of the womb or sacral space. Prior to reading this message, go ahead and take your deep breaths if necessary. I'll give you a minute here, literally a minute, to just breathe in and breathe out. This full moon is all about gratitude. The portal of light going through the womb. Continue to take your deep breaths. Let's begin. Enter the chamber of healing. A spiritual gift of healing is coming to you now. Be open, without expectation or preconceived notions, and allow the healing from the Lady Isis, Mistress of Magic, to help you find the best solution for any situation that does not appear to be as it should be. Take your time and create space into which her magic and energy can flow now. Expect your miracle. This oracle comes to you as a messenger. Prepare for great changes because they are on their way now. When the Divine Lady Isis offers you a healing gift of magic, it is something to accept as a gift of unconditional love with open arms. It will be offered without agenda, with the only intent being for your highest good and spiritual growth. It would not necessarily look or feel like you expected, but you will realize in the unfoldment of the process or circumstance that it was a spiritual healing gift from the divine, even though you may not have immediately recognized it as such at the time. You will be able to recognize the healing by the experience of it and its effects, even before the complete resolution of the issue at hand. The experience will be that the issue is somehow lifted from you, and the effect will be that the issue seems genuinely out of your control and yet not out of control. This is the way that the gift of healing can come to you. Time and sacred space to contemplate and reflect is extremely helpful to receive divine intervention as consciously, swiftly, and fully as possible. Sacred space can be a physical place that allows you to put your day to day activities and thoughts to one side and instead indulge in just being as you are in that moment. It might be a place in nature, your meditation place or healing room, or a sanctuary that you have where you can be alone for a time, or even a meditation group or healing circle. Sacred space allows you to simply be, to not have to think, sort things out, or analyze, but to open, rest, and allow inspiration or guidance to come as and when it chooses, and to allow for the mysteries of healing to occur. It is important when entering sacred space that we do not set an agenda or have specific expectations. We do not have to think anything more than, I dedicate this space to the divine within, when not attempting to find solutions, but actually actively letting go mentally and emotionally, and allowing ourselves to go into a peaceful state, relaxed but not numb. We can often have guidance, inspiration, clarity, and knowing drop into our awareness. We don't need to actively seek these things, they can just happen when we create open space. Healing happens more powerfully when there is a space, openness, and allowing. We let go for healing to flow. Time and sacred space will help you receive the inner adjustments that you need for the healing magic of the Lady Isis to be able to reach you with full boldness and genius. The ritual of the Chamber of Healing. Ideally, do this exercise physically, but if you cannot, then visualize it instead. Do it with the intention to surrender into sacred space and receive the healing love of Isis. When we hold an intention to surrender into sacred space, we are opening up to other realms. Intentional surrender transforms an action into an element of ritual. Instead of simply acting, we imbue our activity with focused energy. It is the intention to surrender into sacred space that transforms a walk in the park into an inner journey into the chamber of healing. Take yourself to a place in nature that you love, a beach, beside a lake, in a forest, sand dunes, or cave. It might even be near a favorite plant, animal, perhaps a pet, or your favorite tree in a garden or parkland. Go to any place that feels nourishing to you at this time. Quietly in your heart, imagine connecting with the light of your own divine essence. Sense it within your heart as an outstretched pair of golden white wings, blowing and growing with light and beauty. Then just relax. Sit or walk and enjoy the space. Do nothing in particular. You may touch your surroundings, feeling bark on the trees, or gathering shells and making patterns on the sand. Watch the waves and the lines left on the shore as they retreat, or listen to the leaves of the trees as the breeze moves through them. Feel the cool smoothness of rocks or stones. Just enjoy. Be in your body, and if you are finding it hard to stop thinking, to switch off, imagine that you don't have a head, that you are just body. Feel and connect with the space, and let your mind settle into the physical sensation of being in that beautiful place. Rest. When you are ready to complete this ritual, move into the incantation. Healing comes, healing flows, healing blossoms, and it shows. I thank Lady Isis for her love and light, her healing gift through spirit unite. Brings me now to the light of this day, and healing blossoms without delay. Healing comes, healing flows, healing blossoms, and it shows. I thank Lady Isis for her love and light, her healing gift through spirit unite. Brings me now to the night of this day, and healing blossoms without delay. Healing comes, healing flows, healing blossoms, and it shows. I thank Lady Isis for her love and light, her healing gift through spirit unite. Brings me now to the light of this day, and healing blossoms without delay. That is the message for entering the healing chamber. And before we finish this live, the prayer that I share with the collective on that prayer is all about that communication is to reconnect with your self righteousness after all of this healing that you've been doing. Okay? So it's a very powerful prayer, it's a very powerful message. So if y'all hear me sobbing over here, listen, let's move on to the next. Full moon in Cancer, Starseed Oracle. What is the message for the collective? Starseed Oracle, full moon in Cancer. What is the message for the collective? 3355. Starseed Oracle, full moon in Cancer. Message for the collective. Wow. You got the love. Hadarian energy, codependency, and boundaries. This energy right here coming out at the bottom of the deck or the foundation of this message. Some have experienced so much pain from the boundaries you were setting due to codependency because they were actually walls that one was putting up to protect themselves from not wanting to be codependent. But this codependency energy is also connected to soul ties. Life and power is in the tongue. We have all at some point declared a certain aspect of pain onto our own lives because of feeling like, without this situation, who am I? Whatever it is that you do is not who you are. You are more than that. What you do is just what you do. It's the action, it's the physical representation of that which is within. Greater is that which is within. With this full moon in Cancer, a lot of you have been able to come full circle, to let go of the fear that may have connected you to the spirit of codependency, or to the spirit of manipulation, or the spirit of manipulation in the sense that it keeps you down, or the spirit of abuse, the spirit of molestation, whatever it may be. Or this may be a spirit that's connected to you through the womb. They didn't have to necessarily happen to you in your physical life. But this is the great power of energy itself. It is the responsibility of the physical body to be able to connect to which frequency it wants to connect to in handling the energy once it arrives. And in doing so, here comes life, throwing different challenges or obstacles to strengthen you. But at some point, one has to wake up from going through those same cycles over and over and over again, by realizing that you are the one with the love. And the moment that you realize that, the healing process of the generation before, through you, and after you begins to rise. This is why it's also important to allow others to be on their journey and not to force yourself to want to get them out of where they're at. Allow the polarity to be what it is. Okay, let's see what message we got. High Wraith, longing for home, homesick for the stars. The bottom of the deck, we have the blue flame, which is connected to the throat chakra. The throat chakra is also Taurian energy, which is connected to the intuition. And Taurian energy is connected to Venus, core values, the young lady, basically. This energy here, the blue flame, spontaneous awakening, activation, integration time of those moments where you have let yourself go because you felt that you may have or will be losing out on an opportunity if you stood up for yourself. Whether you or your mother, her mother, whomever it may be. And I'm saying the maternal energy because we are in this full moon in Cancer energy, which is the mother. But something here is being activated, collective. I don't know if you can see this, but I'm going to show it to you. Can you see that image behind this blue figure here? This is all about the root chakra and the throat chakra. That is the integration time that this message is bringing to you at this moment, collective. When you walk through that healing chamber, okay, as you listen to that message, doesn't it look the same? spontaneous awakening of the divine feminine and divine masculine that is within. The light comes with the dark, and the dark comes with the light. One is not more important than the other. Similar to a house, foundation and a rooftop. You can't call it a home. You can't put a boundary around it unless you have the two. It's integration time. Let's see what other message comes out here. The cosmic heart, devotion, potency. Make your life a moving prayer. And you know what? What we're going to do, we're going to get into that prayer that I was going to actually say after this, towards the end of it. Let's get into it now. We're going to make this energy here a moving prayer. Isis and Newt Ashe. Let me get this message here for y'all. Cosmic, heavenly Mother and Father, I thank you for giving me self-revelation. I have allowed my past mistakes to define me. I have limited my view of possibilities to a false sense of unworthiness. My choices consciously and subconsciously have been according to this diminished self-view. My relationship choices have been severely impacted by my inability to see myself as you do, Source. I ask you to purge every part of my soul that is stricken with a broken self perspective. Reveal my true worth and give me a sincere desire to cleanse my heart from compromise. Help me to forgive myself and to accept your grace, forgiveness, and your view of me. I surrender every relationship that I have developed to your oversight and influence. I give you permission to influence my heart against every relationship that is based on my former sense of worthlessness. I declare that I am free from every stronghold of self condemnation and poor self perspective. In the Son's name, Amun Ra Ashe Aibobo. Devotion, potency, making life a moving prayer by connecting to the cosmic heart, all that is. This cosmic heart is also chaos. That chaos is the melanin, and the melanin is the soul. I shade a remedy H on that. Some of you, like I said before, in connecting to this higher consciousness, came the Mars energy of anger, conflict, and softening to love. Because Mars is all about, I want what I want. Venus, I want what you want. Balancing the two may come with a process where you may have to experience a great suffering of those that you may be connected to, or those soul ties that came with codependency because of doing what others wanted and not so much what you wanted. Sometimes, or some 4444 came into this world with the energy within their system already. But it was all perfectly designed to shift the chemistry of the blood that flows through your veins. So what I'm saying is, a lot of y'all went through what y'all went through because only you, similar to the golden child, a child of the sun, was able to allow yourself to sit in that womb, have yourself go through that process, the death and rebirth, sunrise to sunset, seeing the dawn of a new day, and continuing to do so. Even if you did not know where you were going, but you trusted in your intuition, and it continued to guide you to your fated destination. And that fated destination is infinite. There is no set destination or place you're going to go because the soul never stops moving. It constantly goes through a sunrise and a sunset. You have two messages coming out here. It says, your life is a canvas, fall into my arms. And we get this often. A lot of you here are here to be a part of this new world, this inner earth that's coming out. Artist manifestation, creative accountability, surrender, holding the opposites, extremes of life. Fall into my arms, it says. You see that death and rebirth process that's happening there? Your ancestors are always with you. They are a part of you. This is not something that is outside of you. Greater is that which is within, and even more so the realization of it. So no more condemning yourself for anything you've done in the past or where you're at or where you felt like you should be. Where you at right now is where you're supposed to be. Okay? Let's move on to further messages. The great cosmic mother Neith. Ashe. What is the message here? We have contentment at the bottom of the deck, which is also representation of the Empress. Seeing the light. What is the message here for the collective? Wow. Ignition. Fire. The fire within coming from this transformation is allowing you to rise. Whoa. Here we go, that light. The Empress is seeing the light. The light to what your purpose is. You're realizing that love comes with a great power. Because I feel that love is also connected to chaos, where it's ever flowing, it's unconditional. The cards that fell out over here says letting go, support, be spontaneous, blessings, and awareness. These are all coming from the mermaids. So some of you are definitely connected to mermaid spirits or mermaid energies, or Yemaya's energy. which is also connected to the color blue. Now, this planet that we dwell on is blue. This planet is all about intuition. But so much has been stuck at the base of the root. Let's see where this is going. We have expansion, north, stepping out of your comfort zone. From the growth comes completion and the life. So, let me look at this here for a second. This is coming down to the message from yesterday as well, because awareness was also a part of that message. So much is changing, so much is expanding, and there's definitely a completion when it comes to the ability to connect the left and the right brain that's actually going to give you the true essence of what life actually is. And that's to be able to see the ethereal realms, that which has been considered unseen or unknown. The more that the veil continues to be removed from those around you, the more that the collective will be able to see what some of you already are able to see. But continue to have gratitude, continue to forgive yourself, because that's what forgiveness is for yourself. You're not here to seek closure or to receive an apology from anyone else. And a lot of times, the wound can be wounded through seeking apologies instead of forgiving oneself and moving forward. Forgiveness of oneself will allow you to let go of those situations that no longer serve you, or where one was once codependent. Because of the lack of love within oneself. Just moving through the messages that are just coming to me from pulling these cards. After this deck, I'm going to go into the tarot. The one thing about the intuition or the moon's energy, messages may come through as parables or like parables. You may not fully understand them in that current moment, but your soul knows what it is. And that's what I feel like the way these messages are coming out. It feels very moving. Let's see what messages we get from this deck. What's this? Integrity. There goes that gratitude here at the bottom of the deck. We have Taurus. Gratitude for the cycles of the seasons. Cosmic connection. stays. Astral travel, caution needed. Balance will be restored. You see that 333? And cosmic connection at the bottom of the deck, number 11. A lot of synchronicities continue to follow the signs and symbols. That's what the intuition will have you do. Mm. New love is forming, eternal union, ashe, and world within worlds. Wow. Okay. Okay. We're going to go one more here. Hmm. Seek clarification. This is the card about seeking clarification through your intuition here. Let me get one more for that, actually. Intuition. Okay. Wow. Wow. All right. The world within worlds within you all is wide open. It was just 5656, which is 1111. It is time for those of you who are connected to this message to build the foundation of your bloodline based on your spirituality, based on the messages that are coming to you through your intuition. Do not be afraid because fear is not real. Not anymore. Not anymore. Used to be. And that's because we gave it power. Anything that you give a name to, you give it life. Whatever you give a name to, you give it life. It is time for you to rise, give life to the divine feminine and divine masculine that dwells within you from all of the universes, all 7 universes that you are all a part of, the 144 sectors of each universe, the 144,000 galaxies of each sector, the 144 million constellations of each galaxy, the 12 solar systems of each constellation, and the 12 planets of each solar system. You are all that is in that space that is darkness that has all of this energy. All of that dwells inside of you. There is no more hiding. Open up to the intuition. Open up to the planet that is the blue planet, that is the 3rd planet from the sun. Master your will to create. Master your will to nurture. View your life as the life that was destined and fated for you because you have that great power within you to shift it. This full moon is going to raise those tides within you that has a lot to do with what it is that you feel. Your sensitivity is your power. The sensation that comes from those emotions is your power. Emotions is energy and motion that flows within you. So if it's the energy and motion that's within you, and energy can be created or destroyed, what are you actually stopping? Use the ego for what it is. It'll get you to places. It's more so like a vehicle, but the vehicle needs a driver. Connect your mind, body, and spirit to your soul so that you can drive that vehicle that is called the ego, that connects you to your power, the intelligence of the God and Goddess within you. Whatever it is that's a sign or symbol for you that you find yourself connecting to, it's because you're remembering all that you are or where you've come from. Not just in this lifetime. Mother Earth is telling you to feel loved and comforted by her. Connect yourself with the force that dwells within nature. Oh yeah, shit. Angels and ancestors, the moon, prosperity lies ahead. What is the message here for eternal union, for the collective? You're bringing all that you have to what it is that you know. Angels and ancestors are telling you to track down your fears and desires, all that you are. The hunter, the ram's energy, the I am that I am. What else, Source? Hold the space. Hold the space for. Make plans and focus. The shield maiden. Hold a space for your core values now, is what this is saying. Your primordial energy, which is the embodiment of all things that were before you, that was actually you, and is a part of you now, and forever will be, as your soul continues to go on its journey. Learn from spiritual experiences as you are gaining the strength in spite of adversity. New beginnings are here for you now. World within worlds. World within worlds for the collective. Angels and ancestors in the moon. During this winter season, take care of your dream. Take care of your needs. This is the wolf moon. The wolf is the pathfinder. The wolf has to allow the pack to choose where it wants to go in terms of having this as a spirit animal. You were designed to create this new path, not to force anyone on it, not even yourself. We have here the high priest or the Hierophant's energy asking you to intend and create. Trust your talents in changing times, the spirit of the fox. A lot of you carry so many ancient abilities, ancient wisdom. It is time to intend and create, to take care of your needs. What are you lacking when it comes to your knowledge of the world within worlds? Because it is time for you to choose happiness, for you to choose abundance, for you to choose fulfillment, beauty, compassion. Anything that steps you away from compassion, which is the next level of love, especially when it comes to relationships, it is time for you to connect to that. Interest versus commitment. What are you committed to? What are you interested in? It is time to choose what are you committed to. Because the world within this world that has been hidden for so long is calling your name. That eternal union must first be formed. And trusting your talents in changing times, embrace the energy of peace. Because in the past, you didn't follow the intuition and you seek clarification outside of you rather than listening to your own voice. But everything has its purpose. But when it's time to shift, oh yeah, Ashe, when it's time to shift, it is time. And the body will let you know that first and foremost, especially when things have been prolonged. Embrace the energy of peace when going into the worlds within worlds. Trust your talents and changing times. Basically, trust your abilities, trusting your gifts. Be open to healing information. Trust and thrive. We're going to do these two together. A process here is being completed for you to see the abilities that you have once you realize that whatever you considered a burden is actually your responsibility. But to be taken from a space of building the eternal union by allowing the feminine and the masculine side to take on its responsibilities, not one more than the other. Dream and journey. Follow the rhythm of what your heart is telling you. Follow the rhythm of your own cycles. Follow the rhythm of changing times for you. Because it's time to take action and time to work through your fears. Aries and Scorpio energy. It is time to release negativity. That's really what this full moon in Cancer is really showing so many. And this is why a lot of emotions may have gone up and down, up and down, up and down. Because it is time to take action, work through your fears, trust in your intuition, seek clarification from that inner voice within you. Remember, Mars is all about doing what it is that you want, and Venus will have you do what it is that others want. But the moment you connect to that core value of yours, you're going to connect to those who have a similar frequency as to what it is that you want that's connected to what they want. The soul tribe, core values. The core is in the soul is the solar plexus, right in the center of mass of your body. As above, so below. get in your way. And to confirm what we were just saying, trust your instincts. Let's grab a message from the animal spirit. A lot of you are going to be receiving a lot of prophetic messages as well through your dream state or through, well, as you are entering the state of rest to enter the actual world. Spirit animal, animal guardian. What is the message for the collective to trust their instincts? What is the message for the collective here? The firefly. You got to catch that fire. You got to get connected to that spark when it arrives, because you're definitely going through this transition here that connects you to something of the past that really is just you remembering all that you are. We'll get into these tarot cards shortly. This energy really got me moving like the moon. Granted, that is my rising sign. Here we go, y'all. Let me get to it. If I can't find it, then we'll just move it on up. Because it's not enough for me to find it right now. Oh. The firefly talks about you being inspired and fantastic yet fleeting. It contains the light of 1,000 stars. It's pure, radiant, and illuminating. This high frequency charge cannot be sustained for long. Therefore, the firefly indicates a moment of inspiration or awakening that quickly fades if we do not catch it. What I wanted was the dragonfly. Where are you, my dear? Really? Huh. Light, illusion, and the mind. The dragonfly is an ancient and ethereal creature that awakens a sense of wonder and awe. The dragonfly is a symbol of the mind, as it is always moving, shifting, shimmering, and changing. So when this message appears, it's worth considering the quality of your mind and perception. When you're in balance, you're seeing clearly, you're joyful and magical. When out of balance, you can't concentrate and your mind is busy. And to bring into balance, focus on the breath. So that beautifully tied in all the messages that we receive, including the message from the Dark Healing Chamber as well. Let's move on to the tarot. It was just 1-14-14. Let's get to it, y'all. The honking outside. Which deck are we using here? Where is... I want to use the fact that the one that... Here we go. Here we go. Message for the collective. Message for the collective. Full moon in Cancer. Message for the collective. Fertility. The mother's energy is coming through. this. Choose wisely. Okay, let's see what this is about. That's the Seven of Cups, which is connected to Venus and Scorpio. Okay. We have the heart chakra coming out at the bottom of the deck, but let's see what messages you get here. First card on out. Current situation is emotionally withdrawing, trusting your wisdom when it comes to, ooh, wow, your spiritual strength. Your spiritual strength is either going to be a challenge or it's going to help you emotionally withdraw. But let's see what the cards are saying here at the bottom of the deck. We have movement, choices, and decisions at this time is leading you to love. Okay. The heart chakra. At the base of your reading, we have patience, number 14, or temperance energy. So this could also be connected to higher education. So some of you may even find yourself studying more in order for you to emotionally withdraw from situations. And that is what's helping you to connect to your spiritual strength. In other cases, we have this being at the base of your spread. Is asking you to be patient with the mother energy when it comes to her past life. That patience is going to allow you to connect to your spiritual strength. This is why it's going to be a challenge to emotionally withdraw, which means you would have to be more logical about those experiences. Even if you may not fully know word for word or scene by scene what that experience was for the maternal energy, either on the father's side or the mother's side. But Source is asking you to be patient so that way you're able to connect to that inner voice and seek clarification as to the way to maneuver through this energy. And for that, you're being recognized and rewarded. This is what's connecting you to your soul tribe. This is what's connecting you to higher levels of commitment when it comes to, projects that you have going on or people that you would want to work with or collaborate with. Because without that patience from this aspect, as it relates to the maternal energy and the child past life, her past life, or her mother's past life, just generations before you, without that patience, you're going to find yourself going through even tougher cycles than they went through that has been passed down to you. And like I said, even if you don't know what has actually happened, you're going to still feel that energy because it's something that can't be created nor destroyed. Our responsibility is the frequency connected to it. So when you're presented with an experience that you can't quite put your finger on it as to why you feel this way, that's your spirit talking to you. But it's up to you and the ego and the way you identify what that is. And the way you identify what that is, what is basically coming through, it's the frequency you connect to once it approaches you. Are you going to operate from a place of lack? Like, why is this happening to me? Or look at it from, okay, this is what's giving me strength. This is what is allowing me to see what's truly within me. In the immediate past, wow, you have passion ignited and suffering in silence coming out together. 91 may resonate with some of you. This is the energy of the great severing. Whatever this was that was brewing within you because of the connections you were making to your spirituality as a result of what was occurring in the past, or that has been passed down to through your bloodline. In the past, you were suffering in silence about this. That's what's now in your immediate past, rather. But under all of this suffering, your passion was being ignited all at once. So we can see this as that eternal union finally forming. Now, this could also be connected to siblings as well. Because there may have been situations where there was a rivalry with siblings that you may have been suffering in silence about. But in the meantime, it was also connecting you to your personal growth and who you actually are. Now, that great severing was also a part of you looking at your life like, this is supposed to be my family. This is supposed to be my support. That's going back to, why is this happening to me? But everything has its purpose, and there's a cycle to everything. But when it's time for the winds of change to flow on through, the tornado doesn't ask, how fast do you want me to spin? How many houses should I? No, it just does. It just changes everything. Okay. So some of you may have also been suffering in silence about the changes that you may have been going through, especially if it led to what they would call anxiety, when it's just you having this infinite power to change so much around you, which is why emotionally withdrawing comes with the challenge of your spiritual strength. But patience as the foundation is also what we know it to be as the virtue, leading you to great success, to be able to intend and create and trust your talents, to trust your gifts, to trust your abilities in these changing times. Crowning this reading for you. Wow. We have patience and temptation at the top of the deck. Let me get one more next to this here. What is this connected to? Wow. Trusting your talents in changing times. Balancing doing what I want because I want to, and not because someone else is saying I should. Doing what someone says because you should is usually connected to a trauma bond. And the source of that communication is coming from a space of, I'm afraid to evolve. I don't want to unlearn these things because I know the truth that I'm going to have to face. But now that leads off into you picking up that energy, or the seed that's procreated from that, to feel that and to experience it as if they were physically the ones who said, I don't want to change because I am afraid of the truth that is going to be revealed to me, or the truth that I know that's going to be revealed to me, that something is going to have to change in my life. Whether if it's a relationship, a friendship, certain family members, whatever the case may be. Okay. Yeah, the bottom of the deck is conflict and defeat, which is the Five of Swords, which connects you to Venus and Aquarius. Trusting your instincts when it comes to social relationships and friendships. Some of you may have to, just disconnect from certain connections because of your spiritual strength or the strength that you were gaining through your spirituality. And some of those connections may have asked you, to explain. No, you don't have to do that. And some of you in the past may have had to let people suffer through the silence of you not explaining yourself. Because you know the passion that is being built in within you to really drop whatever lows that was coming with all this fire, this element to be able to create. Even when it comes down to, you know, the way you want people to support you in your business, and really putting some respect on what it is that you're doing. When it comes down to that friend and family type of discount, or because this person does a certain craft, you want to know if they know. Listen, let me pause for a minute. Let me pause for a minute. So much of what you're creating can be sabotaged through pleasing people because of the connections they have to you. Just because someone is connected to you, doesn't matter how long they've been connected to you. If you have a business that you are building, be mindful of the way people approach you about what it is that you do, especially when it comes to those who seek discounts or who want to creep through on some, call me when you have a chance type of thing. No. And this is for my fellow spiritual practitioners, whatever it is that you do to uplift the spirit, where you may have people, whether if it's your social circle, your family, that call you or want to speak to you, rather than realizing that, listen, whatever it is that you do, if you feel the need that you want to assist, go ahead and do so. But be mindful of the energy and where you're putting it, where you're putting your energy. Because if this is going to distract you or take you away from what it is that you're doing, that's something to be mindful of. And this is where that emotional detachment comes into play, emotionally withdrawing. Let's see what's coming on the immediate future here. We have positive movement forward that leads you into a spiritual union. Yep. This is why you got to make space or remove what isn't serving your purpose, so that way you can connect to that which your spirit is connected to. Because a lot of times when you have these connections around you that aren't actually supporting you and quote unquote using you, it takes you away from the movement in any direction. It is going to keep you stuck, for one. And if this has anything to do with meeting of the minds or a relationship as it relates to love with a counterpart, it can block you from ascending to higher levels of love. You know what I mean? It's not that you don't want certain people around, but when you become mindful and aware as to what may be causing you to go in this loop de loop, that you may ask yourself, but why is da. But you got all this other friendly energy around you? That's why, which is connected to codependency. Now, as it relates to the mother energy, if one is not able to fully express what they're feeling, actions will speak loudly. And this is where you start to experience feeling guilty about a decision that you made that was actually something that you were supposed to do based on the guidance of your soul. This is where that emotional withdrawal connection or energy comes from. Disconnecting from things that have a deep impression on you. So, this is an energy that is extremely close to you, that your soul is connected to. And that can be passed down through the womb. You can even see it in children when they're connecting with other children, even if they're not consciously aware of it at that moment because they're learning. And who do they learn from? The mother and the father that it's around them, or whomever is around them. And until a certain cycle is broken, it'll continue to be that way. But in your immediate future, there's positive movement forward. That's a Mercury and Sagittarius card. Mercury has a lot to do with siblings again. Whether the oldest, the youngest, wherever you are. If you're somebody who has siblings, some of you connected to certain spiritual unions because of the lack of support from your siblings. And these unions that you connected with was allowing your soul to grow the way you may have expected it to grow with your own family or bloodline. And I'm feeling this message is coming from a space where it's showing the journey. Where patience was a virtue or is the virtue. To be able to ignite the passion that you know you've had from your soul knows. Your soul know what it wanted. But there were restrictions. And these restrictions right now are coming to the forefront for you to see the purpose in them. So the messages that were pulling through, that was just pouring out for me to say, is really just showing this is possibly where things may have been at a standstill. Because of people pleasing or taking in other people's energies, or, this is where you have to surround yourself with protective energy. Because, yes, you may want to help everybody, but when it comes to healing, like y'all see in that card, surrender the idea you can fix someone, everyone is accountable for that. Or should hold themselves accountable for their own healing. That can cause some type of, where it has you feeling some type of way, where you're like, you feel like you're supposed to help this person, but that's coming from the ego. If you look at it from a soul level, it'll look completely different. Because now you start to question, you know, why is it that this situation or this person was able to operate that way? Well, they have a certain soul contract that's supposed to wake you up. So that way when you wake up and you become that wolf that take care of their needs, they are now able to shift. It's kind of like the cells working together. But when a situation is happening where things are being done to people please, the cells are operating on different levels and it's not fully connected. So now we have a dysfunctional body. Positive movement forward and spiritual unions. Connecting to others that connect to what it is that you believe and know and believe. And in not having to people please, to be able to find the space within you to see it as this is just you being accountable for yourself and not condemning yourself for doing so. Because once you get to that space, this is when you bring love into the situation. Whether it's recognized on the other end at that moment, that is none of your business. They will go through a cycle themselves where they'll be able to see that if they choose to. But you have to keep the positivity moving forward and keep building on that eternal union within you. Let's continue. Oh, it's like there's so much coming through. There's so much coming through. We have patience and planning is at the bottom of the deck, which is the Seven of Pentacles, which is all about divine timing. Let's see what the advice is for you all. The advice is that things are moving forward quickly. Excuse me, this was actually the Eight of Pentacles. This is the Eight of Wands. But the Eight of Pentacles talks about you working on your craft. It still came out with the same message anyway. But this here is the Eight of Wands. So this would be the Sun in Virgo. This would be Mercury in Sag. So we have two Sagittarius cards at the bottom of this spread right now. The foundation and the advice. If you're patient with the process, things move much quicker than actually forcing it. And as you're being patient, this is what this message is all about, is working on what it is that brings you spiritual strength and takes you out of suffering and silence. giving voice to that anger, like Sekmat energy describes. Some of you have to look up more. When you're outdoors, you got to look up more. Some of you already do, but it's time to look with the intent that there is a message for you. But still going with the ebb and flow of life, your life. Okay? Because in the environment, what's in the environment for the collective? The sun, the solar plexus, that which is going to activate your gut instinct, the signs and the symbols. There's no coincidences, as you all know from watching the videos that I post. There are no coincidences in this life. Everything you give a name to, or everything that you speak of your life, you're giving power to. Because hence me saying that this is the Eight of Wands, and the Eight of Wands comes out here immediately after. So things are moving much quicker now. Manifestation is happening much quicker. So we have to be more mindful of our thoughts and trust our instincts and seek that clarification from within. Continue to seek clarification about what it is that you want to do from within you. Okay. That's the throat chakra at the bottom of the deck to clarify that. What you're hoping for comes in when you bring love into the situation. Material harvest. You're reaping what you sow. Whatever it is that you're hoping for is what you are aware of. But each time, whatever it is that you're hoping for doesn't come at the time that you want it to come, you are the one that's bruising your heart. So just allow things to be, but continue to put the work in building that eternal union within you. And this will happen without of you too, with your counterpart. Victory and success is currently at the bottom of the deck, and the outcome is okay. So most of these I wasn't taking in reverse when they was popping through because it didn't feel that way. This, however, to see how obstacles and challenges came through in reverse, it's almost like trusting in your talents and changing times is going to allow you to really work through whatever may be challenging you to connect fully to what it is that your spirit is telling you. 14440. Tell me more about this for the collective. New beginnings. New beginnings. The scales have been balanced for you to experience this new beginning, the world within and the world without. It's time for you to move forward, collective. It's time for you to use all it is that you know and continue on this path. This is not a time to be explaining yourself to anybody. The North Node will go into Taurus shortly, tomorrow. You won't be able to get in your way, nor with anybody else. Your soul is taking the wheel now. Okay? The force of nature that is and has always been within you is taking the reins. For a long time, you had this passion ignited. Now is the moment to move forward. You have all that you need to make what it is that you want a reality to be that. Like I said, foundation of this, crowning this reading is the Devil card, which is Capricorn energy, but also having a strong will to do what it is that you want, the sacral chakra. And not allowing anything to take the key away from you, the key of your soul. Because that is the same key that is in your environment as to why you must look up. Look up. All of these entities know that you know what you know now. They know that you embody a power within you that has the ability to set and rise every single moment that we consider a day to go by. Each moment that it is a new day, you've already gone through a death cycle. There is nothing to fear. We're going to finalize this message with the last oracle. I'm telling you, this is some real moonish energy, because the moon relays messages to you through your intuition, and the intuition doesn't always make sense. It's not going to make sense because it's not a logical thing. It's a feeling. A little more shuffle, love. This is so deep. Let us tell them what the next task is. Shay, I'm glad you're all still here. It says here and now. 32. Here we go, y'all. What's the final message here for the collective, sis? Final words. Whoa. So the foundation of what's popping through here is that you're on your way to Treasure Island. Ashe, slow and steady wins the race here with these ancient wisdom. So it took some, cycles of life for you to develop the knowledge, the wisdom, to gain clarity about it all. We have rest and rejuvenate as everything is shifting and changing around you, elevating you, upgrading you. All you must do at this time is focus on your task, meditate. 19 is connected to the sun. Allow yourself to rest when need be, when you feel so. Source is saying it's time to go. 1945 may mean something to you in regards to a parent or a grandparent. And then we have Healer of the Ages. Okay. So, wow. Let me grab a message here from this. Clarify time to go for the collective starseed. Clarified time to go here. The courageous peony, multifaceted, unique nature. Let yourself be seen. Okay. Okay. Inner earth. You'll survive this. New solutions and beginnings. Let me get one more here. Karmic relationships. And yeah, Cancer, fourth house has a lot to do with karma too. So, like I said before, a lot of these situations really help you to develop your gifts. That's what Chiron energy is all about. It's the deepest wound within you. But that solution to that wound is what connects you to your part fortune in your chart. Or if it's not in your chart, just in general, when you come up with solutions to your problems is usually where your wealth is connected. Generational wealth. Where you, your children, their children's children, and the line continues, where everything will be more than okay. It will be divinely handled, never being without, because of the knowing of this within. All of these conflicts were there for the soul to grow, to help you to see the healer that you are of this particular age that you are taking part in, however it is that healing comes about. So 1945 to 1951 may ring a bell for some of you in September. Or there could be a particular figure that you may be connected to in regards to a solution to a problem that may be connected to September between the years of 1945 and 1951. And this may just randomly pop up for you later on. Let's go to the hidden worlds and we'll close it out there. Message from the hidden world for the collective. Message of the hidden worlds. Full moon in Cancer. What is the message for the collective? Wow. That's something else. We have at the bottom of the deck the healing temple. Number 1 was also connected to the magician, which is similar to this image here, or as above, so below, which talks about restoration, cure, and safety. But you received the message of the relics of Lemuria. Welcome, soul family. Welcome. I figured why this makes a lot of sense now, why the intuition, the mind was moving the way it was moving throughout this reading, and then this comes out. Here goes that 51, healer of the ages, bringing back. Wow. We have the liminal dance. These stones are considered part of ley lines as well. And then you have the gift. Okay, that's just, see, let me get off this thing because we could be here for 5 hours. We have the Relics of Lemuria, which talks about fragments, memory, and reclaiming. A lot of the ancient spirits that come from Atlantis actually are shapeshifters from Lemuria. I truly feel that those of you who connect to my messages is because we come from this era. We come from this time. We come from this moment. And this is why we are here now. Age of Aquarius, the age of higher consciousness. Look at how this looks here. Does it look anything like what we live in today? But it will, because we are here. And it's through our remembrance, realizing that we are a fragment of something higher. And once we connect to that higher consciousness, we become that. We now have the knowledge to really create these new solutions in this world today. Especially with Jupiter and Pisces, which is all about our alternative ways of healing. So much is going to change. Healer of the Ages is coming out. So much is going to change in regards to, learning, for instance. Because one of the things when it comes to tests and this education system is based off of memory. Can you memorize this? But what does one actually learn from that in the system? Because now when it comes to certain tests, you're being asked questions on just certain parts and not the whole. So now when it comes to healing, healing comes through looking at the whole picture. As within, so without. Right? Let's see what this says here. Kept safe within these hidden worlds, between the worlds, y'all. There's that. Are the precious remnants of the land of Lemuria, the place where humanity had its inception, where you have had lifetimes as shapeshifter, mermaid, creature of the air and of the skin. These relics of the lost land send out their energies to the world, and we receive them in the moments when we dream of our other lives, when we remember fleetingly, like the firefly, who we once were, and when we discover we too have abilities to heal, to hear, to sense, and to communicate deeply with the natural world. When this card comes to you, take a moment to give thanks to the earth, to soften into the world, to notice the plants and their languages, the birds and their song, the intertwining of all that is, and know that you are a part of the beauty that is all around us. Mind you, this is also on page 44, which is all about rebalancing the mind as you connect to the spiritual realms, those that are your ancestors that live within you and not outside of you. Reconnect and recommit to your own reclaiming of power. Allow the senses to extend and to feel the world in a deeper, more intuitive way. The lost books of Lemuria are written in your DNA. And when you recall, even for a moment, all that you are, its energy is reactivated in this world today. No longer as memory, ashe, but as true, enduring abilities that, once recollected, can be reclaimed and reactivated in gentle, inspiring ways. And what better moment than in Mercury retrograde to receive this message about reclaiming and reactivating the illumination of the relics of Lemuria. When I remember, I reactivate. When I remember, I reactivate. When I remember, I reactivate. Collective, that is your message for the full moon. For those of you who stayed to the end of this message, bless your soul. I love you, and I'll see you next time.